decision, going against the flow, I sit back and say, wow, why can't I be like that? Instead of sitting back paralyzed by fear and anxiety, going against my own convictions, shrinking into my shell of safety, security, and deception. You know, it's unfortunate we often think of courage in terms of public displays of heroism. For example, that pilot with U.S. Airways, who about 2 months ago landed a jetliner on the Hudson River. Moments after takeoff, birds flew into both engines at 3,200 feet in the air. He radioed the control tower to say, "We've had a double bird strike," and they lost control. He used the icy Hudson River as a landing strip to bring 155 people to a safe landing. Millions of people all over the world were inspired by that act of courage. But you know what? We make choices and decisions like that every day. They're thrown at us by the hundreds so fast that we don't even know we're making them. We're constantly choosing between courage and cowardice, right and wrong, sticking to our convictions or going with the flow. So what do I mean by courageous choices? We have 3 areas of our life that we have an opportunity to demonstrate courage. It starts with ourselves, and it's all about being honest about ourselves. Admitting when we make a mistake. Oh, that's painful. It's humiliating. Have you ever realized you had a project due and you haven't even started it? Your first reaction is the alternative. Going into your boss and saying, "This project is due today. I couldn't possibly have finished it. I have 13 other managers chipping on me. The data is in a shambles. The client won't cooperate, and I don't even have the right tools. I couldn't possibly have finished it." Or you can tell the truth. You gave me this project weeks ago. It had a reasonable budget. Your explanation was perfect. I understood it. I just put it off. At the risk of losing your raise, your next promotion, but not your respect. Because the next time your boss makes a decision, do you think that boss is going to respect your answer? Absolutely. And what about in our personal relationships? It takes guts to look at your spouse and say, "Honey, our marriage is in serious trouble. And we need to do something about it right away." It takes guts to raise kids. When you're at Toys R Us and your kid is on the floor in the middle of the aisle screaming at the top of his lungs, "I hate you," wouldn't it be easy to just throw that toy in the cart and move on? No. Courage means looking at that little kid straight in the eye and saying, "You don't intimidate me, you little kid. This is the right thing to do, and we're going to do it." Or with your friends. Taking Joe to lunch and saying, "Joe, it's time we stop talking about the weather and the stock market. I like you too much to watch you ruin, shipwreck your family, your life, your marriage, and your soul." And in the marketplace, boy, it takes courage to summon up everything you have, to look at a customer and tell them when that project is really going to be delivered, or that product, in spite of the fact that you might lose that order if he has to wait. Or a whiny, sniveling client who is making you and everyone else miserable in that office. To give him his walking shoes in this bad economy? Or to turn down a nomination for Secretary of Human Health and Services, as Tom Daschle did 2 months ago, because of past tax mistakes that had tainted an otherwise talented leader. He lost the trust he needed to lead. And without that trust, he couldn't lead. He down. Timothy Geithner did not. Who made the right choice? So how do you get this courage? Do you dash off to Barnes & Noble? And 2 months later, you're an expert? Or do you just give up and say, well, I wasn't born courageous. All those other heroes, they were born that way. No, no. Carla Jung, world-famous woman's author that wrote Fear of Flying, said, always do the thing you fear. Courage is like an acquired taste. It is like caviar. Do it every day. Small habits of facing fear will build a foundation of courage. And the other thing that she says is to associate with courageous people. Let them rub off on you. Don't hang around those spineless cowards that cave in, compromise, and quit as a regular routine of everyday playing it safe. Toastmasters, courage is not optional. It is foundational. Courage is doing the right thing in the face of popular dissent, shame, scandal, and discouragement. Courage